I would like to know you fellas division pick winners coming into this season. We're gonna start with the AFC East, the Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, Jets. I got the Bills. I don't see why I should change that.
The Bills playing who?
So
Bills,
did it
Dolphins. It's the
Bills,
division.
Yeah, Bills, Dolphins,
Oh,
Patriots,
you
Jets.
talking about for AFC East?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Do you
you
think the
know,
Dolphins
man,
care?
I actually I'm gonna pick the Patriots.
I like that. I'm not mad at that pick.
I'm gonna
I'm
pick
not
the
mad at that pick.
Patriots because I think Mike Vrabel brings back that fundamental element, and we talk about fundamental tonight being a key word. That fundamental element of football, of being smash mouth, of let's line up, we're gonna block people off the ball, and we're gonna tackle well, right? And I think with the addition of Trayvon Henderson from Ohio State, national champion running back, in addition of Stephon Diggs, albeit off of ACL, I think they're gonna have enough offensively to keep the chains moving. I think a year better of Drake May um, is gonna just do wonders as far as his development and just consistency, being able to lean on a guy like Diggs. And I think they have a couple other young guys on the roster that I think will benefit from having a guy take away coverage from them. Um, so I just it's a splash pick, it's a little it's a little
If you
fancy, but I can see it happening.
if you pick them Izzo going winning the AFC East, how many wins would you put on them to have this season?
I don't want them to do too good because they are still in the AFC. So I want to I want to slow down like with the expectation that I think they're gonna be this elite team. So I want to preface my pick with this. My dark horse pick to win AFC East is the Patriots. My sound mind and body and judgment says the Buffalo Bills, but I can see a path where the Patriots are just playing really good, inspired football under new coaching, and just really having a chance because I think Gerard Mayo was shit show, man. He kind of lost the locker room with, kind of the comments he was making in the media. So it was just a tough situation. But um, Vrabel is a player's coach, and he knows how to get guys to rally. So those Titans teams back when Derrick Henry was on them were very tough outs in the playoffs because they ran the ball well and they played really sound, good fundamental defense. So I think that's gonna have a chance. I think that's definitely gonna have a chance in any game if you can run the ball and play good defense and then play action off of it. So I think they got the tools to do that.
Yeah, Pats had 4 wins last season. I give them way more than that.
Yeah, I got him at least getting 7 wins. At least with my sound body and sound mind judgment. But my dark horse pick would have them around, I would say, word or best come to best, they can have 11 wins if it looks really good this season. Like 11 wins is like the very best.
NFC North, your Ravens, your Bengals,
Buffalo. I
Browns,
got
and
Buffalo going.
Steelers.
Yeah, that's who's
I
gonna
am
win.
so sorry. I'm so
Buffalo definitely
sorry.
gonna win. He gonna
I'm
definitely
so
win the
sorry,
AFC
no.
East. So it's okay. It's okay. This is my role on this podcast, and I
I,
respect the game.
I
Let's just keep
apologize.
let's keep it going. Let's keep the party going.
I didn't mean to disrespect you, bro. I'm sorry.
No, no, no. Y'all got in a really good banter about.
This is Disrespect the Game podcast.
It's
And I know
like
that
I'm
the
not here.
AFC is, yeah. I say, yeah, nah, they need to talk about that AFC over there because the Texans is over there. So I didn't let y'all have it. But when you carried on, I was like, yeah, Buffalo,
Them
them
two.
old Bills, them old, them old millionaires over there.
Oh man, my fault, dog. Nations, AFC North, Ravens, Bengals, Browns, Steelers. Who do you have, and do
Nah,
you have a
don't try to
potential
put me in
dark
the,
horse?
the part of the rotation. You make me think about my people. And y'all do y'all shit.
You rock my
So
mind.
it's easy to go Ravens, but one thing I'll be paying extreme attention to, considering the preseason talk when Jamar Chase is basically just saying, "Hey, we've had these slow starts recently, and it's all been predicated from us not getting our feet wet, getting in a rhythm in the preseason. Maybe if we plan in the preseason, that puts us in a better position going into the season to be able to have faster starts as opposed to after the first month of the season, we already playing behind the eight ball. So understanding, I believe the Bengals come out with a strong sense of urgency like no other. And that could potentially lead them to be clicking on all cylinders extremely, extremely early. So I'm going to say I would not be surprised if the Bengals come out red hot and create enough separation for themselves to win the division.
Wow, that's very bold. Yeah, I'm gonna say the Ravens still take that division. I just don't see. Again, man, the Bengals didn't show me anything. You want to talk about preseason? They haven't given me any indicators that they can stop the run at all. That defense is still going to be porous. They're going to be in many shootouts. Um, it's a good thing that they got some practice early. Um, I just don't see it, man. The Ravens aren't going anywhere. I believe that defense only got better with them picking up Malachi Starks at the end of the first round. Great pick for them. Safety, hybrid safety corner out of Georgia. I just think, already with Kyle Hamilton, being they just renewed his contract. I think he just got an extension, making him like the highest paid DB in the league right now currently. So
And
I
then
just
they picked up Jair too, I believe, right?
they did. I believe he may be hurt right now, but I just think the world of that defense as far as like that division is concerned. And I know the Steelers made an acquisition of Jalen Ramsey, and they've been playing him at the safety position, and that could be really intriguing. But I'm still gonna take that Ravens defense, man. I think the division gonna run through them. We didn't talk about the offense yet, but they got and watch out for the running back that got hurt. I think his name is Keaton. I believe his last name is some along those lines. He got injured. I think he tore his ACL last year, but he was a really explosive, dynamic, like scat back for the Ravens. That was a really good complimentary to Derrick Henry. Watch out for him to be a difference maker for that team. Keaton, I believe his name is Keaton Mitchell, if I'm not mistaken. Keep me honest on that. It
It's the
don't
Ravens, the Bengals, the Browns, and who else?
Uh, Ravens,
Steelers.
Bengals, Browns,
Steelers.
Steelers.
Damn, Steelers fell so far from grace. Y'all didn't even mention them niggas.
They got Arthur Smith as their offensive coordinator, and he's a guy that is known to be very tight end centric, very running back centric, very play action centric. So I'm not really high on their offense being really explosive. Yeah, they got a dynamic number one outside in DK, but I don't really believe in what they got going, man.
Is the curse, not the curse, is the streak broken this year for the Steelers in terms of making the playoffs under Mike Tomlin?
I think that nigga still find a way to make it, bro.
Yeah, that shit funny. Win the division. Um, I'm gonna go with Burrow and them boys.
Mm.
Mm,
Joey Crack.
no, I take that back. I'm
No.
going Baltimore. Yeah,
Baltimore.
no, no. Roquan Smith is
Lamezy.
on the other side. I'm not
Yeah.
going against Roquan Smith in no
Yes,
category.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and Lamar Jackson, the quarterback of the offense, is Lamar Jackson, the quarterback of the defense is Roquan Smith. I'm going Baltimore.
Oh my, oh my.
um,
Yes, sir.
AFC South, I think it's pretty evident who's winning that division.
Yeah, man. I'm just reading your hat, baby. It's an H-Town world. You dig what I'm
You
saying?
know what I'm saying? Yeah,
713 Slab Classic.
yeah, you did, you did. Um, who could be a runner? Who do y'all think will be the runner-up in this division?
Who cares? No trophy for number two, baby. Only number two get shitted on. You dig?
First person to lose, buddy. First person to lose.
Yes, sir.
To talk about our Texans, right? We are literally at the bottom of the league when we talk about solid front offensive line stature. Our offensive line is depleted, and for me, I think about this in a way of like, all right, we don't have an offensive line. That is either going. I pray that that doesn't result in.
We do have a really revamped offensive line, bro. We have Titus Howard kicked back out to his rightful spot at tackle. We got Ursay, the rookie, who won its job. We got a new center and a new guard who won the job on some guys that they brought in, Lakeland Tomlinson, I believe. So I wanna give us some. I want to be optimistic first before we send us to hell before we play a game. Yeah,
That's
I would like to be optimistic first.
that's fair. That's fair. For the split second of us to rid away, or at least me, for the split second to rid away the Houston Texans biasness. Um, like I say, looking at most bottom of the league in terms of maybe like top five worst offensive lines compared to the other league. Yes, we may have been better compared to last year, but not we're not definitely not even the top or middle of the pack in terms of like ranked strong offensive lines. Speaking from that point of
We
view.
ain't playing no games yet. I ain't worried about the preseason ranks.
That's fair. But just indulge me for a sec. If that were to be the case, if that were to be the
Okay.
case, and our offensive line isn't as strong as we would like for it to be, I feel like that could still work in a way where though the circumstances may not be perfect, it could bring out the best in CJ Stroud for us to be able to see how great he truly is. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes sense. Like it's just like, yeah, he don't have an offensive line, but he has to be quicker with his reads. He has to be able to be more mobile and escape, you know what I'm saying, pressure. Um, and if our offensive line isn't great, I think that would also result in us not having a strong run game. I don't know if y'all agree or disagree with that. And so the ball would have to be placed in CJ Stroud's hands to make quick decisions with the ball. And I feel like it could be a benefit of CJ for us to really for us to really see him put the team on his back. I don't want him to injure himself putting the team on his back, but that's just I guess the optimism I'm looking at it from with our us appearing not to have one of the elite offensive lines is like, hey, CJ could still make this work. I think about Patrick Mahomes in that Super Bowl against the Bucks, where it's just like he's out there running for his life. He's out there like John Wicking the ball, diving across the field, flinging it, and everybody's like, "Yo, this dude is playing out of his mind." Like, you know what I'm saying? Under the circumstances, obviously, even though they lost, and I believe in CJ Stroud enough to be able to overcome a depleted offensive line. Our defense is already one of the top defenses in the league. And if CJ Stroud could bandage the offensive line, assuming it may not be a top elite offensive line, I think we see CJ Stroud take a leap, an even bigger leap this year compared to last year.
Definitely could see CJ making a huge leap in his junior season if we doing the third year as an analogy in that way. But I just think better weapons at the receiver position and the drafting of Jalen Noel, who was a combine standout doing a lot of reps, bench press, and just having an overall good receiver gauntlet. We draft another Iowa State alum in Jaden Higgins, big body receiver, pro comp Mike Evans, a good 50-50 ball guy, be able to, give us some vertical, threat down the field in regards to jump balls and those contested catches in traffic. So I'm excited. And then you got the definitive number one guy over there, the X12. Get up. You know what I'm saying? My boy Nico. So I just think um we're gonna have something to prove overall as an offense. I think CJ is motivated, not a lot of interviews and appearances on podcasts and shows this summer. And then we got a motivated 29-year-old Nick Chubb, man, who never talks, who just, puts his head down and works. So I'm excited to see what that'll look like until Joe Mixon can come back healthy. But I also like what we did, I believe, in the third or fourth round, drafting Woody Marks out of USC, a fifth-year guy who had his fifth year at USC, actually got his master's while he was at USC. So very cerebral, football guy. If I know anything about Nick Casario, he loves cerebral, football-minded guys. So I just think we're going to have an abundance of talent, along with Nick Caley being a new OC, giving CJ more responsibility at the line and really giving him the reins to make those in-game adjustments and checks and audibles at the line that, the other guy, we won't even say his name, just didn't kind of give CJ the opportunity to do. So, excited to see it.
What you got on the AFC side of Dacius?
Texans.
Say less. Say less.
Good man.
AFC West, man. AFC West. You got your Broncos, your Chiefs, your Chargers, your Raiders. I would assume this being a bounce back year for Patrick Mahomes, like Izzo said, that would mean by default the Chiefs take this division. Is that where you're going, Izzo?
Not necessarily. Now, I think it's going to be a lot to ask of that defense to still be elite. I don't think they have nearly as many pieces as they did in the previous years. I think the door is slightly ajar for the Denver Broncos, who
Shout out,
made
Bo.
a lot of great acquisitions defensively in the offseason, that being Dre Greenlaw, former linebacker of the San
From the
Francisco
Niners.
49ers. Yeah. And then, them drafting pretty well and them already having the top three offensive line unit in the league, man. And Bo Nix showing that he's, I think, a taller, more athletic, dare I say,
Peyton Manning.
value version of Drew Brees. Just as
Mm.
far as how he throws the football and just the intellect he plays with in and out of Sean Payton's offense, which is a really, really complicated offense to grasp. And I just think he's gonna get better, man. I think what we saw last year was a really good rookie season for Bo Nix. And I think they're really gonna surprise a lot of people in that AFC West. I think like Sedacious says, Xavier Javier, whichever one you want to use, depending on the day, Miles. Uh, I like the Javier part, but there's neither here nor there. But I think Bo Nix got a chance to be one of them ones, dog. I really do. So
Yeah.
I actually foresee the AFC West not being a total domination by the Chiefs. I see them being in contentions down the stretch. I think the Chiefs maybe could overcome them in the end, but I definitely see two playoff teams within that division at least for sure. AFC is a fucking gauntlet, man. It is
Bro,
no.
the
I'm talking about,
AFC is like the Western Conference of the
and that ain't to shit on the
NBA.
NFC because obviously they the reigning Super Bowl champions over there. So the NFC in the last incoming incoming years has kind of stepped up a little bit. I think the NFC East is kind of coming back to prominence as being one of the more competitive divisions. I think, they've had a revolving door in their divisional title champions each year. And I think that has a case to be the same this year, with probably the Commanders looking to probably maybe take a hold of that. But I think the Eagles still have a great team on offensive defense, so they'll have something to say about that. But I think it's just a lot of good I think the league is just in a really good place all around. I think it's a lot of really good teams, and I think it should be some good competition this year.
I'm a
I'm going Broncos.
Yeah, I think I was gonna go Broncos too. I think
Hey, we all in agreement.
at what point do and the Broncos winning the division doesn't necessarily mean the Chiefs struggle with. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Right.
I think I'm high on Bo Nix coming into this season. Um, yeah, I don't see him regressing in any way, shape, or form. I think it's only going to like continue to like get better with time. You talk about the pieces that they added on defense. The defense is solid, and you got an emerging quarterback who can get the ball where it needs to get to, and he's also mobile. Um, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Broncos. Um, if you, it's so easy to pick the Chiefs, right? But it's just like, all right, at what point do they start to like just not be as great as they always are in the regular season? Like it went 15
I've
and
been
2 last
saying it,
year.
bro. Mahomes is the new Brady, bro, and I think they gonna
Yeah.
really lean. I think this is gonna be the year where you see a dynamic shift where they were kind of led by the defense the last couple of years. They're gonna be led by that offense again. I'm telling you. I got a feeling Mahomes got a 5,000-yard season up his sleeve, if not something really close to it.
The doors of the pod are open.